Hey everybody, welcome to the Williams Roth Group podcast. Welcome back. I've got Jake Rubendall, a member of the Williams Roth Group team with us today. We're going to talk about some pretty good stuff. Really the topics for today are going to be the Williams Roth Group team and what we kind of do behind the scenes, the secret sauce, if you will. Pull back the curtain and share with you how we operate. But before we jump into that, Jake, I got to ask this question. I don't mean to catch you off guard, but I understand tomorrow we're doing a half marathon. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, just a little sprint triathlon down in Solana Beach. Not a big cardio guy, but my father-in-law has done Ironmans and half Ironmans, and he's coming down for it. And my dad's doing it with my uncle. So yeah, you got to get out there and get a little wet, do a little biking, get a little run in. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. I would have signed up, but I must have missed the invite. So maybe next year we'll get on that one. Well, let's dive into it. We want to talk today, Jake, about really how did you get into commercial real estate? What drew you towards industrial? Why was that an attractive segment of the market for you?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was in college kind of searching for what to do. Had a good family friend put me in touch. He was a broker, industrial broker, and got an opportunity at CBRE and did a little internship there. And, I was attracted to it for the potential of income that you can make and be your own boss and have the flexibility of work, life, family. And it just looked like the people that were in it, I like the sales aspect of it, the relationship aspect of it, meeting people. Obviously the industrial side of things, the opportunity came with you guys, and it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So I learned to love it, and I've come to love it now just because it's pretty simple, right? It's a box, how much stuff can fit in it, and maybe you put
Don't say it's too simple, man. We got to make it seem really, really complicated. Well, early in your career, though, what was some of the biggest challenges that you had, number one? And kind of number two, what advice might you give to a younger broker looking to break into the business?
Yeah, I mean, when I came in, I just wanted to work hard. I felt like I could outwork the other brokers out there and be, a better servicer to, in the kind of more of an advisor to people. So I ran in a lot of challenges. You're trying to prove your worth as a young kid to people and advise them on their biggest asset and sometimes in their life. And, it's just understanding the market and really learning, diving into the details of the stats and the comps and kind of understanding what's going on in the world. All that kind of plays in just to kind of prove yourself to be a more knowledgeable advisor to people on one of the, most important and valuable assets in their life. So I would say just kind of work hard, really learn the market, and you got to just get out there and try to meet as many people as possible, get your name out there, and start building that brand for yourself.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. And you did work your tail off. That's why you rose above some of your competitors that were in this office. So good job for you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Is there advice? Flip it back to you real quick. Go back when you started.
I think the work ethic, like you said, is huge, right? You got to outwork everybody. That's the same in life as it is in industrial real estate, as sports, as the guys that the most successful people in the world probably outwork everybody. Then you put talent on top of that and the consistency and the drive and all those good things. But I think the work ethic is phenomenal, and the knowledge. You got to know your product type. You got to know your market. You got to be an absolute expert in what you do, and not a guy. For me, in my opinion, not a guy who can do a little bit of everything. If I'm going to have a shoulder surgery, I want the best surgeon in the world, not a guy who does surgeries on every body part, right? So,
right.
But I think that's accurate.
Totally. Okay, and then as we move kind of into where we are today, I guess, when you started building the team, the Williams Roth Group, originally the Williams Group, some people don't remember that, but originally the Williams Group, when you were starting and you and Chris met and put the team together, how did you guys decide to do that? What was kind of the thought process?
Yeah, that's good. A lot of people don't know that. It was the Williams Group back in the day, and the branding was dog shit, so people probably didn't even know it was just the Williams Group. But I linked up with Chris through another broker in the market who I had a lot of respect for, and he said, hey, you ought to meet this young guy. He's an absolute stud. He's doing large tenant rep deals for national companies throughout the country, flying all over the place, doing massive tenant rep assignments, and got to know him, met him. We talked for several months, and it ended up being the case where I wasn't looking for a junior or per se like a younger person that I had to train. I had done that several times. Chris had a wealth of knowledge on the tenant side, and I was working a lot of landlord assignments, so it was kind of a good mesh and marriage, if you will. And it became evident to me very quickly that he was ultimately going to be a senior partner and a 50-50 partner with me, and that happened pretty quickly. And so that's, we're the Williams Group for a while, and then it was, there was Williams Roth Group just naturally. And it's been a great marriage. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He's very, as you know, very detail-oriented type of guy, where I am more high level. I move a little faster, and we complemented each other really well. So that was the initial stages of the Williams Roth Group.
Yeah, I can always say, you guys complement each other very well. You have very different styles of, being a broker, and that's, I think, why you guys have been so successful, and I've been able to take from both you guys and learn both sides of it. I guess as far as if you kept expanding the team, what do you look for when you're adding someone to the team? I know we kind of talked about the hard work and all of that, but now it's obviously us, Chris, we have Andrew Kenny, who's working our OTI market, and we have Lauren Hoover, who's our client services. When you're adding people to the team and building the team, what are you kind of looking for there?
Yeah. I mean, if you'd have told me we have a 6-person team, if you'd have told me that 20 years ago, it would have blown my mind. But everybody has a role. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the podcast. But having a team that can cover a wide variety of tasks and making sure nothing slips through the crack is, in our business, critical. Having Lauren as the full-time assistant to the team that handles, contracts, she handles LOI, she handles, planning, scheduling, our calendars, a critical component. Not a broker, but an admin person that is structurally for us very, very valuable. And then we have the brokerage side. We have you, me, Chris, Andrew, and we're out procuring business, doing deals, transactional oriented. We have marketing people that are dedicated to our team that draft up all the beautiful marketing pieces and quarterly reports and mid-years and podcasts and all the different things that we do marketing wise. So having that coverage is very, very valuable, and it's evolving. As we all know, technology and marketing and branding and those things are growing exponentially, and trying to stay up with it and really be out in front of it is a challenge, but it's a lot of fun because you're learning and growing, and some things work and some things don't work, and it's an interesting time, to say the least.
Yeah, it's always a challenge, but I feel like we do our best to try to make it work and be successful for our clients. So I guess kind of going off what you said there, that getting into the secret sauce, we don't want to give it away, but kind of how we operate as a team, what would you say kind of everyone's, why does our structure work? You kind of just touched on it, but everyone's roles and responsibilities. How do we delegate, I guess, between the team, and why does that work for us?
Yeah, I think it's organization and planning. We'll talk a little bit about it, how often we are together in a room strategically planning, the year, the month, the week, sometimes the day, making sure that everything is taken care of. Because when a client hires us for a tenant rep assignment or a leasing assignment, or they want to buy an investment property, they want to know that everything's being taken care of, and having a team of people that can make sure that every task along the way is being done, in a timely manner and done correctly is critical. And so if you're going to have, the kind of coverage that we have and work on the product type that we have throughout San Diego, you got to have people in place to manage that. And as probably everybody knows, we do cover all of San Diego. We have Andrew, who covers all of our South County product, and then all of Central and North County between the other three fellows. So it really seems to work very well. We are looking at adding another person. You asked earlier what we look for in a younger person. It's the same thing we talked about, right? You got to outwork everybody. Can't be afraid to work your tail off. And you got to grasp things relatively quickly. I do not mind teaching you, but if I have to teach you the same thing 2 or 3 times, we got a problem. I coach football for my younger son, and some of the kids, you got to teach it to them 5 times before they grasp it. And they're kids, I get it, it's all good. But if I have to do that in the professional world and I have to teach you the same thing 3 times, it's probably not going to work out. Yeah. So grasping things and understanding them quickly is important.
Totally. I guess as far as, just
why don't you talk, Jake?
Yeah.
You've been with us, 12 years now. We used to have a full-time business coach We've been trained in how to do things organizationally, planning. Some people look at our team and go, you guys are over the top when it comes to strategically planning your business, and it works for us. So why don't you talk a little bit about how we do our annual, monthly, weekly planning?
Yeah. So it all starts, it's basically a cone, right? We, at the end of the year, we get together, we set our top 10 goals, as you know, for how we're going to be successful. It changes year to year depending on what is successful and what's not. We obviously have certain, there's cold calling kind of points we have to hit. There's a certain goal, income threshold we want to hit. I keep it up right here on my desk to look at every day and remind me of all the different goals that we're trying to hit. And then monthly we go in and we look at those goals and we set sub goals based on those. And then weekly we go in and set weekly goals based on those sub goals. So it's just a really good way to keep us all accountable for doing the things that we need to do to help hit our goals at the end of the year and ultimately be successful as a team. And there's several other systems that we have in place for following up with brokers, following up with requirements of the market, past clients, other lead brokers throughout the country. We have checklists for new listings, checklists for closings, all those things. And we have a very detailed approach. And for every single deal closed, new deal listed, outreach, it's all very detailed in how we do it. And we like to hold each other accountable with those goals.
Yeah, I think a good example, I think Chris used this in the past. Like, we were giving a training to our young folks and we said, okay, look, you have 10 annual goals, pick one of them. Say it's, hey, we want to do 5 client events in 2026. That's the annual goal. And that's a great goal. But the monthly goal now has to be, okay, this month, are we going to do an event? Okay, we want to take them to a Padre game. Okay, that's a great monthly goal. Then the weekly goal is, hey, you got to reach out to 2 or 3 or 4 people to see if they're available, right? It's breaking it down to specific baby steps so that ultimately you hit that annual goal of doing 5 client events per year. Otherwise, you just throw 10 goals on a piece of paper and put it on your wall without the consistent follow-up. It doesn't work.
Right.
So,
of course, yeah. I mean, and going off one of those goals, the marketing, I feel like we get a lot of feedback on that because we've tried many different things. This is sort of a new idea we're trying to it's all about the branding, right? What have you seen change over the years with our marketing efforts? And I mean, maybe you can talk about how the monthly minutes started, but I know a lot of people know about that. So what are your thoughts on our marketing and how that's helped build the brand?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty proud of the marketing, to be honest with you. And I got to give a lot of credit to Chris early on, right? My marketing was just like everybody else, pretty basic. We did what we did. And we decided that, hey, you can only make so many calls. Even if I can make 100 phone calls a day, that's great, and that's a big number. But the reality is, the more that you want to get people to call you or think of you when it's time to do something in industrial real estate in San Diego. So we came up with the idea that, hey, let's make sure we get our marketing material out to people. Good stuff, not propaganda nonsense, like market reports. Here's what's going on in your market. The building next to you sold. Here's the absorption rates, all these quality reports. So what Chris and I did early on is we'd come into the office and him and I would literally draw the marketing material that we wanted to put out. So before our day started, we were in here designing the things that we wanted to go out. Some of the stuff that we still use today, like the quarterly reports and the mid-year reports and the availabilities and those things. And that has continued to grow over the years. And now I think it's 2 pieces every week at least go out. Yeah. We try to make it quality information that people think is valuable, right? And so I think that's continued to grow. The monthly minute, to be honest with you, I don't know where we came up with that idea. I think we saw some funny video and we're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Let's try that. So we'd get out our iPhone and we'd go film these videos and we'd do a serious one about the market. And then we'd do a goofy one about dumb mistakes brokers make, right? And we send it out through whatever system we were using at that time. And what we noticed was, and the feedback we got was, the market stuff is great, but boy, that was a great, funny one. We'd get 4 times as many people to watch it. So maybe 6 years ago, we said, well, let's can the market stuff and let's just do the funny ones because people can relate to it and, break up your day and get a laugh. And at the end of the day, we're trying to just make sure people think of us when they need something, basically. And we have a lot of fun making them. But I tell you what, Jake, they're hard to come up with good, funny, creative ideas. I mean, you were in a turkey suit at some point early in the career. You were in a turkey suit out in the
I
yard.
thought that would never be brought up again. I thought I'm going to try to get that erased off of line. I don't know how to do it.
I think we're getting Mo to post that on this video.
I
So
know about
one
that,
more
yeah.
video of it.
Oh man, yeah, we've had some good ones in the years, but I guess just kind of wrapping it up, what are you most proud of building? I think you've been together 20 plus years now, or close to it.
Yeah, we just got to 23. I've been into 23. Chris and I have been together for, I think, 17 or so. I mean, at the end of the day, to be honest, it's kind of the longevity, right? I've been with Lee & Associates my whole career. I love the company. It's an amazing firm. Having a team that's cohesive, that we enjoy working together. You're together, sometimes 12 hours a day, and you're working consistently with each other. People you enjoy working with is important. Very proud of that. And probably the consistency. I mean, we've been pretty doggone consistent with our marketing efforts, what we do, how we do it. Reputation, Jake, you know that's huge. I mean, it takes that long to screw up your reputation in a business that is critical. So having a good reputation amongst brokers, owners, buyers, everybody within the market, I believe we have a pretty good reputation with. So that's been really cool.
Totally. Yeah.
How about you? What are you most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great working with you guys. I feel like, I love the Lee & Associates company, the firm, the people here are all amazing. It's definitely like a family aspect to it. A lot of people that come here, they don't leave. So it does feel like a family. It's fun to come to work every day. The guys that have been here for years, some of my best friends. What we've built, like you're saying, the longevity, being able to help people in these big decisions in their life, it feels good. It's fun along the way. It's always something new in this business, but I feel like with our team and the minds, when we put our brains together, we can figure out anything. So, having the trust between each other and being able to be successful through that's, I think, what I'm.
Yeah. Some days are great. Some days are kicking the shin, but we'll get through it either way. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Williams Roth Group podcast. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.